Matthew 16:24, Jesus Christ says, if anyone would follow me, they must deny themselves. In some translations it says, give up their selfish ways. Take up their cross and follow me. Take up their cross and follow me. Now, what exactly does this mean? I always tended to think that this meant take up your burden and follow Jesus. Yeah, and I think many people think the same thing, that Jesus is saying you take up your burden and you follow me. But what exactly is this about? Because I've made several videos already concerning the cross being an X. An X is a cross is an X. It's just something that crosses over itself, and it is a Roman numeral for the number 10. And 10 is also letters, because we use the old Latin letters in the English language. It's the number 10, in other words, Io, pronounced Eo, and that means sun. And sun is one of the names given to the beast from the pit from the book of Revelation, Apollyon. He's also known as Helios, which means sun, and he's also known as Eo, which means sun, and Eon, which means sun, and Eos, which means sun, and etc., etc. Most of his names mean sun. So Jesus has said, take up this cross. Now, if we equate the two together, that Jesus is not talking about a burden, how do we quantify that and come to a conclusion of what Jesus Christ is actually saying to us here? Well, let's take a look here. Matthew 11:28. Come to me, all you who are heavy laden and weary, and I shall give you rest. Now, Jesus is asking you to go to him, and he will give you rest. Before that, we see that he has said, take up your cross, which most of us interpret as a burden. But here, he is saying, come to me, and I will give you rest. That doesn't sound like a burden. Let's look at the next part. Take my yoke upon you, and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and I will give you rest for your souls. Matthew 11:30. For my yoke is easy, and my burden is light. So, Jesus Christ is asking us to take up what we have considered to be a burden. But here, he's saying his yoke is easy and his burden is light. A yoke is something that goes around your neck and burdens you, like you would put a yoke on a beast of burden to pull a cart, for instance. Okay, so his yoke is easy and his burden is light. Now, what kind of light are we talking about? Are we talking about light in terms of something being heavy and something being the opposite of heavy, which is light? Isn't Jesus Christ the light of the world? Isn't Jesus' burden to spread the light into the world, with all of these pagans doing everything they can to cover the light in darkness? Didn't Jesus Christ say, I am the bright morning star? That's what Lucifer calls himself. That's basically Helios, the son of Zeus. He is Apollyon, the destroyer. He calls himself the bright morning star. But Jesus Christ is claiming that and saying, I am the bright morning star. And this X symbol, this cross, is a cryptography for sun. And the sun is a great light. So I would tend to think, because Jesus Christ is asking us to take up our cross, he's asking us to take up our light, our great light, given to us by the Holy Spirit, and follow him. No, it's not a burden, because he has said that it is light and it is easy. We are his messengers here on earth. It is up to us to follow him and spread his light, even though we're attacked every step of the way. We take up our sun, our bright morning star, our light. We deny our old selfish ways, and we follow Jesus Christ, shining that light, just as we were told by the Lord that you don't have a light and hide it. You put it on a stand so everyone can see it. So that's what we have to do. Take up our great light, which is the bright morning star, which is Jesus Christ, and shine that light as we follow him.